What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier here, Anthony and Jimmy. And today we're going to be discussing the secret to scaling your gym to 7 figures. And 7 figures is that, I think that's at the mark for fitness businesses. Like the 7-figure mark, it's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I've kind of reached that's like that milestone. I say that that's the pivotal milestone. I feel like the first pivotal milestone is making 6 figures. And I think that one's, I don't want to say it's easy because it's not easy, but I think that's easier than hitting the 7-figure mark. 7-figure mark, you really have to have, we'll talk about the secret of that. But yeah, I think that
those are the 2 main milestones. And I feel like the 6-figure mark you can almost get to on accident, especially in your business as gross. But take home 6 figures is a little different than gross. But again, 7 figures in your gym, the secret to it. So Big Jimmy, we got a lot of secrets to unveil here today. You ready to do this? Because there's going to be a lot of people stealing this information and going out there and having 7-figure gyms because of us.
Yeah. I mean, once you kind of build your business to a certain level, it's like, okay, now we can share with other people how to get there, right? Through all the mistakes and time and issues that it took for us to get to the point where we're at, it's like we can now share that stuff with them. And
headache. Don't forget that headache in there.
And I wish we had like a playbook for it. We've been in a lot of group coaching stuff and all those things, and there didn't seem to really be an ironclad playbook for what it looked like to actually get to that level. And until you kind of approach that level or get there, it's like you don't really know, and you have these issues that come up and you try and get the shortcut, but sometimes it's not as easy as you would think, because it's a hard thing to do. I mean, it's a 1% or 2% of fitness businesses make it there, so it's like it's not easy. But there's some things that are going to make it a lot easier, some secrets that we'll share with you today. And Anthony, if you don't have anything else to share on it, we can kind of share the first biggest secret, if you don't mind. Drum roll.
Do you want me to do the first one? I mean, I have a couple of things that I have. I don't know if you want to consider them secrets, but things that have gotten pushed that level for me a lot faster, and that I wish I would have told. Do you want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
I just have really, it's one big one for me. So I don't know if I'm stealing one of yours, but.
All right, so I have two. Yeah. So I'll go first then, and we'll do the sandwich, man. I'll go, then you go, and then I go. Deal?
Perfect.
All right. So I think the key when getting to having a 7-figure gym is understanding how you should be selling one thing to one member, not to one member, but one thing reliably over time, over and 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 over. That's the key. It's just being able to do that kind of boring work, as it's been called, over and over and over. So the main thing that is the key with getting there is having a client acquisition strategy. That is the most important thing to getting to 7 figures. How do you get customers into the door? Because without the customers coming into the door, like, yes, retention is very, very important, but you need to be able to keep filling the bucket up so your bucket can grow and become bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to figure out that client acquisition strategy. And I always use the fishing example. So we're going to talk about the marketing pulse. So I would say that the most important thing that you can do to get to 7 figures is figure out which pole you like to put in the water. And that's the key. You like to put in the water that you can use reliably to get you members over and over and over reliably and consistently. So I suggest picking 1 to 3 and no more than that. Yes, you're going to get clients outside of those 3 other ways, but you need to focus on dialing in those 3 poles in the water. Figure out exactly what bait you need to put on which pole. So when you put the pole in the water, you're going to be able to pull the fish up. A lot of people and a lot of gurus will talk about you have to have multiple things you're doing, and Yelp ads and this and LinkedIn and that, and do this and do that. And all that stuff is fine and dandy, and you can kind of dabble, but you need to have at least 1 to 3 dialed in that are consistent, because you need to be able to generate leads all the time. So, for example, I'll go with what mine are, right?
So mine, well, one is obviously Facebook ads, which we've covered before, figuring out that whole system. That's one poll. The second one for me is organic marketing. I do very well with organic marketing and getting clients organically. So that's my second poll that I really, really focus on. And I put a lot of effort into those two polls. And then the third poll for me is the referrals, how I'm getting referrals in, what I'm doing, and again, I just focus on those three polls. Yes, I get clients from my website. Yes, I get clients from Yelp. Yes, I get clients from here, from there. But I know with a given, doesn't matter if it's raining today, if the economy goes down or this or that, I know that with those three poles in the water, I'm going to generate X leads every week, month, so on and so forth. So that's the key to getting a seven-figure gym, is figuring out those poles for you and your business and what you like to do. You may have a guru that sits there and tells you, you need to email every day. If you hate writing emails, or you hate emailing, or your clients don't respond to emails, don't even focus on that. And I did that. I made that mistake very, very early on. I from when I even started in fitness, everybody talked about an email list. So I'm talking about 2008, 2006. Everybody had an email list. So I had an email list. I'd write every day and blah, 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 blah. But I never got the return from emails that everyone talked about. And no matter how many people I emailed to, it was not a big pull for me. Maybe my target clients don't read a lot of emails. Maybe they get a ton of emails and it just doesn't, whatever. Maybe I'm not good at emails, but whatever, for whatever reason, it's not a reliable pull. So yes, I do email marketing, but I don't rely on it to get me clients. If I get clients from emails, it's gravy, but it's not one of my major pulls. Or you may have another guru that tells you, joint ventures are exactly what you need to do to grow your business. I hate joint ventures. I hate them. I don't like them. I don't like doing them. I don't like putting my business in somebody else's hands and hoping and praying that they're going to send me people. It's not reliable to me. I don't like it. This is me. So I don't have to do it. On that poll, if somebody wants to send me a client, great. But again, I put it aside. I focus on what I could focus on: organic marketing, referrals, Facebook. Those are the three that I like to take control of. And I figured out a system for each of them. And again, I tweak the system to try to get a little bit more, but that's what I do. That is the key to getting to seven figures. That acquisition strategy is so, so important. And if you look at it, even from the business that we're trying to build right now, Jimmy and I, Fitness Profit Multiplier, one of our polls is the podcast. This is a huge poll for us, and we're trying to get new gym members, trying to help them through this. And this is our major poll. Whereas when I've had a fitness podcast, I've had over 1 million downloads on a fitness podcast. It just wasn't a strong enough poll for the market that I was in. So you have to kind of play with these polls, and you're going to, take some polls in and put some polls out and test and see. But getting to seven figures is picking those 1 to 3 that work reliably well for you and hammering them home. I would say probably 2 is the minimum. 1 is probably not a good idea in the long run. But again, you just want to be able to understand 1 or 2 to 3 max. That's it. That's my spiel.
Yep. And we talked about referrals on other podcasts. So it's like, for us, it's really 2 polls, right? Facebook ads, referrals. Of course, we have our website. Of course, we have other things. And, we get a lot of reviews on Google and this kind of stuff. All the stuff that you're doing in the background to kind of optimize some of those other things for like organic search on Google and stuff like that. But those things are kind of background focus, where your main focus on acquisition and your main campaigns that you're running are 1 to 3 main campaigns that you're just pushing all the time, and where majority of your focus is, right? There's other things we can do to optimize some of the other stuff, but Anthony's totally right. That's exactly how it works with us. To get up to that level, Facebook ads and referrals, where a majority of our members come from, right? Facebook ads and referrals account for 60 to 70% of our new acquisition at our facility. So, and then the rest is just coming from a bunch of different places, and it's all kind of like, not stuff we're focusing on, right? So you focus on that one and you move forward. So the biggest factor, in my opinion, that grows a gym to 7 figures or more, the biggest secret is having the right team in place, right? Having the right team in place. Now, over the years, we've gotten stuck at different revenue markers, right? And getting stuck at those revenue markers was not because our market was saturated, right? Some people will say, oh, my market's saturated. I'm just, this is as good as this gym is going to do. And that's just, we can't grow anymore and da, 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 da. And getting to the level that we're at now, we're kind of reaching market saturation. Like the amount of people we have to add to keep up with the churn, with how many members we have, is hard. We're clawing and scraping for every dollar right now. And that's because we have 200 small group members, right? It's like paying a high premium. So it just becomes one of these things where you have to kind of keep pushing that through. But when we look at your staff, some of the things that were issues before in my business had to do with the fact that the staff that I had was not the staff that I needed. And during certain seasons in your business, you need some staff that do certain things, and then maybe your business grows and they don't grow with it. And so you have to prune that tree and get the right staff into your facility as you grow. Because sometimes when you're in the beginning, you need an assistant. You need an administrative person, right? That administrative person is not necessarily going to be your best coach. And your best coach is not necessarily going to be your best administrative person. So you need admin, coaches, salespeople, and marketing help, right? And as you scale up, you need more of these things. But you have to have the right person in the right seat to push you forward. That was the biggest change that pushed us to the point where we're at now, you know, because we were stuck in these zones. We're stuck at 20 and 40 and 60, and like we got stuck. And the reasons why we got stuck were the business structure and the willingness of my team to be adaptable to the changes that happen with a business as it grows, right? So vetting your staff properly, setting those expectations and holding to those expectations is going to be the biggest thing that's going to change your business so that you can actually step away and see the vision and integrate all the things that you want to do in the business and push it down to your team and know that it's going to be done. If you're spending all your time chasing your tail, trying to get an employee back on track and get them to not fight you on new initiatives and have all these conversations with them about what they're doing with their time, and you know, they're kind of slacking off and they're not pushing themselves and they're not in line with the vision of the business, and they're more selfish and into themselves and into the things that they're into. Like if they want to just sit in the office all day and, you know, dink around on the computer, that's not going to help your business in the beginning when you need trainers and you need, you know, just a little bit of administrative help, and you need trainers so you don't have that many staff. You need people to train other people so you can sell other people, right? So you need them to be adaptable to where they need to go and not have them fight you on the initiatives that you're trying to push through. And sometimes it's hard to find those people, and sometimes you have to prune that tree to get it to grow bigger. And your business sometimes outgrows your people. So getting a good pulse on how much time you're spending kind of correcting employee mistakes and getting them back on track and making sure that they're in line with your vision and all this stuff takes away from that. And that's a indicator to you that maybe there needs to be some changes that are made. I feel like in the fitness industry, people don't fire quick enough, and it hamstrings their business for years. So they never make it to that level because they don't have the right structure around their staff and what their staff is doing. So the biggest thing that changed for us, staff, having a rock star salesperson, a rock star manager that sets the culture for anybody new coming into your facility to fall in line with that culture and have it operate on autopilot without you. So that's a very special person, right? And they don't come along very often, but you have to identify that talent and be able to reward that talent and keep them in your facility and give them what they need. So it's going back to kind of that Rockstar Coaches podcast that we had talked about, but that's the biggest jumping off point to get to that 7-figure gym is the staff.
I agree wholeheartedly, man. And I could come at this from a little bit of a different angle. I have 2 facilities. And the reason I don't have 3 and 4 right now is not because of capital. It is because of staff. Having a good quality team that you can trust that will help you to grow and scale is vital when you're trying to scale. Most gurus out there will just tell you, you got to open up multiple facilities, just open up multiple facilities. And it always sounds great on Excel and in the calculator and in theory, but all those facilities will fail if you do not have the proper people in place. I agree with that 1000%, because again, that is the bottleneck always in fitness and scaling. When you have one facility, you could focus on that one facility, putting all the right pieces in place, keeping those places, that team solidified and that place is good. But once you have a second facility, if it's not staffed the right way, you're going to get thrown back into those roles, which is not a bad thing. It's okay to step into those roles every now and then, but that's not a good way to keep scaling. So you have to have a solid team in place before that facility is even open. So yes, I agree with you 1000%. The team is very, very important. The last secret that I want to say, and I got this one from the big guy, but I think that it is crucial and not everyone does it. A lot of people don't understand how business works. And and in life too, you could say you have people, and I see it all the time, oh, I want to be an influencer online. And they post for one video a week for a couple of weeks, and they're like, how come I'm not famous? Same thing with lifters. We're all in the gym, we're all trainers. You want to get better at squatting, you want to get stronger at squatting. You're not going to have a 600-pound squat if they're working out for a month. It's not going to happen. What it takes is reps, doing something over and over and over. And this is where I love the concept of the power hour, and basically sitting there, picking up the phone on all the leads and actually calling them. And I try to do, it's very difficult sometimes, but I try to do at least 50 to 100 reach outs every day. Whether that's an organic reach out, or messaging some clients, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but I'm trying to literally pick up the phone and do something, because I think that picking up the phone is a lost art. And if you can master picking up the phone, you will be super, super successful, because as the saying goes, and I tell this to my staff all the time, the fortune is in the follow-up. If you are not following up with these leads, you are missing a lot of money on the table. I mean, think about it. Mrs. Jones opts in today for your gym. She opts in today. You pick up the phone, you talk to her. She gets nervous. She's busy. Stuff is going on in her life right now. Follow up with me in a week. Okay, you follow up with her in a week. Hey, I'm not ready yet, blah, blah, blah. But now you have a bunch of other leads who have come in. So those other leads have come in, and Mrs. Jones kind of gets pushed to the bottom of that list. If you don't give Mrs. Jones a call, even if it's 2 months later, she might be ready 2 months from now. But if you don't give her that call, she's not going to remember you. She's going to say, oh, look at this place. Let me find them. And somebody will follow up with her there and get her when she's ready. The fortune is in the follow-up. So schedule that hour in your day of reach outs and do the work. It's tough. It's not easy. People are going to hang up on you. Stop calling me. Take me off the list. Blah, blah, blah. Next. And that's the mentality you have to have. And it's funny, on one of our sales trainings that we do, because again, when you're part of our coaching program, we go through sales trainings with you guys, because that's so important in growing your business. And again, so one of the questions that I asked one of the killers on the team, on the one of the other gyms, was, what do you do when someone hangs up on you? Because somebody else was having that issue. And the response, I cracked up laughing, because I was just blown away at how thick-skinned this person was. So I said, well, the question was, what happens? What do you do when someone hangs up on you? Because the person was struggling with, oh, I pick up the phone, I call them, they hang up on me, and I'm getting demoralized, and it sucks, and blah, blah, blah. So this person said, and I it's great advice, and I use it everywhere now. What do you do when someone hangs up on you? I call them right back and say, hey, I think we got disconnected. Now think about the size of the cojones someone has to have when someone hangs up on you to dial that number again and say, hey, I think we got disconnected. So you have to be thick-skinned with this, but it works, guys. Pick up the phone and dial. Pick up the phone and dial. Reach out and reach out and reach out until they tell you no, and then reach out again in a different way. So that's a whole other topic, and we'll discuss that in a different way. But That's it. Those are the secrets. Those are the three main secrets to scaling your gym to 7 figures. Again, if I could summarize this all for you, one, picking your acquisition system and running it to the ground, figuring out how it works so it's reliable. Two, rockstar team. They got to be in place. If you want to scale and keep growing, you need that team. And the third one, like we said, the power hour. Outreach, do it, pick up, dial. And that will get you to 7 figures pretty fast if you do it the right way. But again, if you're having trouble with any of this, just click that link below and we'll cover and discuss everything that you need to discuss to help you get to that 7-figure mark. But until next time, Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier, click that link and we'll talk to you on the other side.